Hi guys, today I'm going to show you guys how to make some Barbie pants since generally I don't think they make enough. Barbies usually just come with skirts. So I will be teaching you guys how I make pants such as these and some others. And I hope this is helpful for anyone who has dolls but just doesn't have doll pants. So let's get right onto it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to jump online and find a pattern. I just got mine off of Google. And you're going to cut it out and put it on some card paper or cardboard. And then you're going to choose your fabric. I have chosen some white fabric just because it's easier for you guys to see the stitching because I'll be doing them in black. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your pattern and you're just going to trace it and then cut it out. Remember, you're going to need 2 of each. This is my back piece. I need 2 of those. And your front piece. You need 2 of those as well. So we've cut out both of our sides. We've got 2 of the front and 2 of the back, or I don't know which way at the moment. But with our back pieces, we have to make a dart. I don't really know what a dart is, but for some reason it works. It's on my other pants as well. So you got to go along this line, but you got to make it in the middle. So roughly there is where our first dart would be. You need to make it slightly higher, so I'm going to go there. And you're going to fold the pants outwards, like so. And you're going to put the needle in, like that. With the dart, we're just going to go from there to there with the machine. I think my machine is on. Just get test paper first. Okay, I found my piece and I already pinned the second one. I'm just going to put this aside while we see what stitch our sewing machine's on. We're not going to use a zigzag. I don't know if you can see, but we're not going to use zigzag. We're just going to use a straight. If you want to use a zigzag, you can, but it leaves less room. I would usually do zigzag when it's not as tight as my material is now. Where's my pedal? I found it. Okay, that's really good. Yep, I like that. Perfect. And cut it off. And I missed it. Where is it? There it is. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take our dart. And we're just going to sew very small. So as you can see, my wool fabric is lined up with this little gap there. And we're going to keep it that way all the way along. To make sure it's tight, you go backwards and then forwards again. I like to hold on to this piece so it doesn't get coiled up and stuck. Be careful not to hit your pin. There we go. We go backwards again and then forwards. And then pull pin out. And then I just want to go to the end. There we go. leaving, if you didn't do the starter, a tail to sew. So it will look like that. Okay. You're going to do that on your second one as well. Make sure that you're doing it on the side that you traced your pattern out on. So I have this blue material. Oh, the blue pencil. I don't know what it actually is. So then when we flip it over, you can't really see the seam. So we want it to be on the inside of the work. The next thing we're going to do after we've done the little hem, we're going to sew this area together. So you're going to need both, and you're going to put right side on right side. So you'll be sewing on the wrong side. I like to pin my work just to make sure it doesn't move around as I sew. So we're going to, for me, I'm going to pin it. You don't have to pin it if you don't want to, but if I were you, I'd probably pin it, most likely. So it needs to look like that. So when you open it, it's together. We're going to make sure it's in between that little black gap again. We're going to start it off. We're going to hold our string. We're going to reverse it and forwards it. So the next thing we're going to do, since we've now made the two fronts of the pants connected, we're going to face it right side up, and we're going to actually take our pants with this piece facing inwards, right side on top of right side, as such. And if this is going to let me, come on, we're going to sew it along the side, making sure it's nice and tight. So for this one, you will need to pin it. So again, we're going to make sure it's on that little gap. You can always do this one as a cross stitch, but we're going to do this one so we know what stitch we want. I'm going to keep on the stitch I have, because I actually found mine is a small little zigzag, so I'm going to do that. And we're going to sew that all the way to the end. Okay, so now that we've put the pants together, well, it looks like this. It should look like that now. What I like to do is I like to take the top and just fold it over a little bit, and I'll sew along that, and same with the bottom. I'll do top now. So just fold over a smidge, and we will, if my pin stopped dropping, pin it in place where I want it. I like to do maybe 2 pins per little section, so then I know it won't move around. We're going to do that all the way along, and then we're going to sew across. Okay, so I have lined the bottom and the top of the pants. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the crotch, well, the back of the pants. So we're going to do a zigzag stitch on these sides so it doesn't fray. This will be in the back of the pants so you won't really see it. But we're going to sew this bit first. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it the right side. I like to line it up and then use a pen. As you can tell, I like using pens in my work as such. And we're going to make a cup, so we're going to stitch for a little bit in just the one spot before we come all the way to here. And we're just going to go from here. We're just going to come from here all the way out to here. So from there all the way out. So we're just going to do the first stitching in just the one place. So I need to line up my pants, otherwise it will be a bit funny. So I take another pin and just put it along the back seam. Now I'm going to put my foot down right there. And I'm going to put it on 0 so I don't move. Ooh, that wasn't a good sign. I'm just going to go backwards, and then forwards, and then backwards, and then forwards. I'm going to put back to 1. And now we're going to go slowly pulling. This part does take a few tries. It doesn't matter if it's not 100% perfect, because sometimes it, like my one, since old, gets stuck. But that's okay. Now I got where we want the stitch to start. So now that we have it there, now I know just to go all the way around there. Pull some string, put it down, and get ready to turn. We're going to do this slow, so if you've got your machine on fast, put it on slow so you automatically go slow. And don't forget to close it and then keep going. Like so. So we just have that little bit done. I'm going to zigzag these. We do not do them together. So, going to take the one. I'm going to fold in. So I'm going to take one side. I'm going to fold it inwards as I put this little bit in the sewing machine. Like that. And change this to a zigzag stitch. Again, we're going to go nice and slow. This will prevent your work from fraying, because if you fray, you're going to make more pants, and that's not fun. I've skipped this step before on other pieces of work. It did not end very well. And back forwards again, and down. And there we go. Got the zigzag on that side. Now we just got to do it on this bit and then done that little bit. Okay, so we have now done the zigzag on the back of the pants. So now you're thinking it might look a bit funny, but we actually just have to hold these two seams here and pull, and then you'll already see your pants shaping. So we're going to sew from one side all the way up to the crotch and back down. I also like pinning this so then it doesn't move around too much. So I'm going to put a pin in. I'm doing it on the wrong side. I do have a specific side that I prefer to sew on. Hope if you guys have that, then you guys do the same thing. So if you don't pin it, you'll probably see that it bunches up a lot, and that's not really what we want. No. Okay, we will be going over this bit here, so if I were you, pin it like right just before and right after it, so then we get even spacing between them. And you're just going to pin it all the way along, leaving some space as we go along. I'm missing pins over there. Like one there, and then one near the very end. Okay, so now we've pinned the pants. It's more easier to see that they are pants. We're going to start on whatever side you feel comfortable with, and you're going to go all the way up to the crotch. You're not going to stop, and you're just going to go all the way back down. I'm going to do that, and then get back. Okay, so I already tried the pants on, but they are inside out. So that's how they look with room in the back. It does look messy in the back, but don't worry. Now we're going to get the Velcro, and we're going to, sorry, hers in the way, measure it to where we want it so that it will close nicely. So I want the pants to sit here. So let's kneel her down so you guys can see. I want the pants to sit right there. So I will see what angle the pants are going to be in as such. And I like to take my pencil and just draw a little line so I know where it's going to end. And then I just hold my finger there and I make her sit so I can see where it's going to end up when she sits, which is perfectly fine. So now I'm just going to get the Velcro, sew that on, and then do the next step. And there we go. The Velcro is on. The last step that I usually do is I'll trim these short enough that I can burn them. If you're going to burn them, you've got to be very careful because I did burn myself the other day. And you've got to make sure it doesn't burn the fabric. So you've got to be very careful. So like just before it touches the material, you've got to quickly like snuff out the flame and squish the it's almost like a plasticky liquid sort of substance onto the fabric. So I find it helps so it doesn't move around. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll be done. We will have some new pants. And there you guys have it. A new pair of Barbie pants. You can style them any way you want, as I did. I painted some little flowers on them with fabric paint. You can do this. You don't have to. But if you're not going to add Velcro into the back, I would suggest taking it in a little bit. I've done that with one of my pairs of pants. But this is a cute way to make your own pants, style them the way you want. I hope this was helpful for all those who want to make pants for their dolls. Thanks for watching. Bye!